Hey everyone, welcome to Soul Whispers Tarot. Welcome back to another pick a card reading. This reading is going to be, how does this person truly feel about you? So I've got three sets of cards. Set of cards number 1 is the citrine stone. Set of cards number 2 is the rose quartz angel. And set of cards number 3 is the opalite stone. But before we get into that, I'd like to say thank you so much to everyone who has subscribed to the channel. I really appreciate that. And if you do subscribe, please tap the bell icon and it will inform you every time I release a new reading. And thank you to everyone who has shared my videos and written lovely comments and liked my videos as well. I really do appreciate it. So these are general messages. Take whatever resonates and leave the rest. Please don't try and make the messages fit into your individual situation if the messages aren't resonating. Throughout the reading, I'm going to be saying, how does he feel about you? But these readings can equally apply to how does she feel about you. So again, take whatever resonates. So I'll give you a few moments to tune into the energies of the cards and see which one resonates with you the most. But also I'd like to say that I'm really sorry I don't do private readings. I've been getting a lot of requests, and I used to do private readings for about 15 years, but I found it was just a bit too intense and I felt really burnt out, you know, trying to tune into lots of different people's energies on a regular basis whilst trying to do these readings and writing spiritual articles and all things like that. Okay, so let's get into the reading. This is set of cards number 1. This is the citrine stone, and the deck is the Green Witch Tarot. But I've also pulled out some messages from the Divine Masculine as well. So how does this person truly feel about you? The top row is going to be the overall energies, and then the 2 rows beneath are going to be the clarifying cards. So we have the 6 of Pentacles, the King of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the Devil, and the 7 of Cups in reverse. So clarifying, we have the 3 of Wands, the 7 of Wands, the Page of Cups, the 6 of Swords in reverse, the Knight of Cups, Harvest, and the 4 of Pentacles in reverse, King of Wands, 8 of Cups, and the King of Cups. So the Harvest card is, I think that's the World. But anyway, in this reading, I'm taking it as the Harvest. So messages from the Divine Masculine. Let's enjoy some time together. Let's run away together. I find it hard to trust. Please listen. My heart is opening. Let's make it happen. So bear with me a moment. I'm just going to check what this Harvest card is by looking at the traditional tarot. It's a major Arcana card. I think it's the World. No, it's Judgment. Just double check. Where's the Judgment card? Yeah, it's Judgment. Number 20. Okay, so how does this person truly feel about you? So I'm picking up a lot of good emotions, a lot of loving emotions. We start off with the Six of Pentacles, clarified by the Three of Wands, and Harvest or Judgment. So they're seeing you as this very generous person with the Six of Pentacles. They're seeing you as very giving, very loving, very open-hearted, especially with the Queen of Cups as well. They see you as someone who's respectable, basically this kind, generous person. And I really feel like they're wanting to have a balance of give and take as well. Some of them with this Three of Wands, they may be waiting for something, like their ships to come in, waiting to be able to give back equally, perhaps. Because Six of Pentacles is about a balance of give and take. But there is a balance within your connection in certain areas, is what I'm feeling as well. And they're, with this Judgment card, they're really feeling like it's harvest. They may have been waiting to meet someone like you, you know, and then you've come along, like you're their dream come true or something like that. It's the harvest, you know, they've been waiting for the harvest. They've been waiting to be able to have a spiritual connection as well, is what I'm feeling, because this is Judgment. This is like a soul calling. In the traditional tarot, it shows the angel awakening like the dead, and it means like rebirth, reawakening, spiritual new beginnings. And this is a major arcana card, so this is overall how they feel. They feel, you know, no matter what may be happening within your connection, overall they feel this magnetic draw to you. They feel uplifted by your connection. They feel like this connection can provide both of you with this harvest kind of energy, with abundance, with joy, with spirituality, with deep meaning, with a new beginning. Some of them may have been waiting, and some of you may have been waiting for this kind of relationship for a long time. Some of you had to go through some difficult situations in the past, difficult relationships, difficult karma. You had to learn a lot of things, and then you became the energy of this Judgment card. You could see yourself clearly through those experiences. You could see your worth clearly, and you raised your vibration, and that's what prepared you. That's what made you align with someone where there's this equal give and take. But like I said, waiting for the ships to come in. Some of them may be waiting upon something before they feel like they can give to you equally. And when I look at the imagery of this Harvest card, it's like a happy, like, home life. There's like abundance of food. Yeah, and there's these little, they look like little pixies or gnomes or something. It's like this, the universe is helping out with your connection. Just feeling drawn to look at this card. Yeah, some of them may be feeling bad if I don't know, maybe it is to do with finances, because this is a Pentacles card. Maybe one of you is like more well off, like financially at this time, and maybe they're feeling a little bit guilty about that. And they want to give back equally. That's why they're waiting for their ships to come in. there's a sense of some kind of pause within your connection in a way, on some level. And they're waiting for some kind of divine timing or something to happen within their own individual life, is what I'm feeling. But also, to me, this is saying they're willing to take, and they're wanting to take your connection further, because once this ship's come in, it's like they've already packed together their belongings and they're wanting to get on that ship. They're wanting to embark on this new journey with you, because obviously this ship is going to sail the ocean, and water represents emotions. So they're willing to go with the flow of their emotions. I'm noticing 3 of Swords here, which could indicate the 3 of Swords card, which could indicate past pain and heartbreak. So yeah, to me this is like maybe both of you have experienced heartbreak. You may have packed your things up, like you've taken with you the lessons. Maybe you were both sort of waiting for a new relationship, like your soulmate or your twin flame or someone. And so in the past you sort of got everything ready on some level and you're waiting to embark on that journey. Maybe some of you felt like for a long time before you met this person, maybe you felt like you could just feel like your soulmate was coming or something like that. You felt this spiritual calling. You could intuitively, you knew something powerful was happening. And yeah, waiting for the ship to come in. One of you may have well, you both had karma to deal with, but one of you may have been tying up karma, and it's like the other person was kind of waiting. Like one of you had already tied that karma up before the other one. So this person was sort of waiting for some big change in their life. Like they could feel it, and they may have been searching for it. But they were overall waiting for that divine timing. They were waiting for you to enter their life, or you were waiting for them to enter your life, sort of thing. And then there's the harvest. In the past, there was an imbalance of give and take in previous relationships. And that is contributing to that 3 of Swords on this card. Some heartbreak. And you learnt from that. And there's true harvest, because there is a balance of give and take in this connection. So King of Swords with the 7 of Wands and the 4 of Pentacles in reverse. So these 2 cards here are about defensiveness. 7 of Wands is like when in the traditional tarot it shows, and I like to say, I like to describe the pictures because I feel they just give the message really clearly. In the traditional tarot, it shows the character holding 1 wand, and then there's 6 wands beneath them. So it's almost like there's 6 people, each with a wand beneath the main person, and they're trying to knock him off his feet. So that's created defensiveness. So someone within this connection, or maybe both of you, is like this King of Swords. Like the King of Swords is very straightforward, very honest, very clear. They don't take any shit, basically. They say what they think, they say what they mean. They're not afraid to speak their truth. They're not afraid to stick up for themselves. There could be a tendency with this King of Swords to sometimes say things a little bit cutting, or the King of Swords energy can be a little bit blunt sometimes. But I do feel it's because of learning something from past to do with an imbalance of give and take, or someone taking advantage of this person that created that heartbreak. 3 of Swords features in this card, so that could have been someone cheating on someone, like a third party situation. So that may have it's helped this person to speak their truth, to stick up for themselves. 7 of Wands, they may still have some sort of defensiveness. which we all do. You know, if we've been hurt in the past, we can subconsciously try and guard our heart. So this could be both of you in some ways have a little bit of defensiveness or some kind of walls up, maybe in different kinds of ways. And it's because people in your past have tried to knock you off your feet. You may have experienced a lot of conflict in your past with other people or narcissistic people. And you basically had to learn to stick up for yourself. You had to learn to have healthy boundaries. You had to learn to say no and really speak up for yourself. You had to learn to be like really strong, basically. Four of Pentacles in reverse. So it's more positive in reverse. Again, this is another card about defensiveness. If we look at this card, this person's hiding the pentacles away from someone who's appeared at the door, like they're trying to protect themselves. Fours are about stability, survival, emotional stability. So as well, especially as he's wearing red as well, it's the root chakra. So yeah, it's about survival. This could be like a general energy, because a lot of empaths, we feel like we have to sort of hide ourselves, or we have to keep our energies separate, otherwise people can really drain us. This is someone like being nosy, perhaps trying to pry into this person's life, or ask too many questions, or, you know, sticking their nose in where it's not wanted. So one of you or both of you have learnt to, be discerning about who you open up to, or who you allow your energies to sort of mingle with. But yeah, it could be like defensiveness as well. It could be like hiding behind masks or something like that. And there's this tortoise here, you know, retreating into your shell. One or both of you, in reverse, you may be trying really hard to communicate your truth more, come out of your shell, not hide away so much, not try and protect yourself so much, because you're realizing that that's just pushing the person away. You may be realizing you have some sort of control issues that you weren't consciously aware of. So there may be some sort of triggering happening within your connection. Like one of you maybe like have already learnt to be much more outspoken, not necessarily like in a bad way. The other person may be being a bit defensive because you're not used to coming out of your shell that much and being exposed that much. But this, you know, this sword of the King of Swords cuts through like any walls. So this person, you're both like breaking down each other's walls. One of you may have like trust issues. So one of you who's being really generous, you may be helping this other person who has some trust issues. They may be helping you to come out of your shell, or, you know, whatever resonates. And this is like the past conditioning within both of you, that your connection is healing within both of you. So how does this person feel about you? Queen of Cups with the Page of Cups and the King of Wands. So these are already positive cards. They're seeing you as this Queen of Cups. And there is the King of Cups here as well. So, you know, this is like counterparts. So it could be your soulmate, it could be your twin flame. The King and the Queen of Cups, you know, the cups are about the heart, emotions, about love, being open. So they're seeing you as this Queen of Cups, as very loving, open-hearted overall, even if there is some defensiveness perhaps on both sides, playing out in different ways on both sides. Overall, they're seeing you as this loving person. This is green and pink. Those are both the colours of the heart chakra. So you're both basically learning to open your heart more and be more vulnerable and trusting and allowing yourselves to receive and give love is what I'm feeling. This Queen of Cups is emotionally stable because no matter how rocky the seas or emotions get, overall it's like emotional balance. And you know, in the traditional tarot it shows the King of Cups also like with the throne in the sea, in the ocean. So it's saying there's a lot of emotion. Sometimes perhaps those emotions can be a bit stormy. Perhaps that could be like arguments or disagreements or just some kind of general triggering. But that's to, you know, get the wounds up, to get the conditioning up to the surface to be healed and released. So even though the waters may be a bit rough at times, with these both being in the upright position, it's saying you're both emotionally mature and you can withstand and stay in balance no matter how rough those seas get, is what I'm feeling. So they're seeing you as like their sweetheart is the word that Spirit is saying. And Page of Cups, traditional tarot, this is about the page offering the cup. It's about them offering their emotions, speaking their truth. They may be seeing like your innocence, because this Page of Cups, I don't mean this in a negative way, but the pages can appear to be a little bit like naive. Or a little bit like cautious, or it's about the innocence as well. They're like childlike sort of thing. So some of you've got a big open heart, but perhaps it's a little bit difficult for you to come out of your shell, express your emotions. So that could be either one of you. But with this Page of Cups, I'm seeing this blank canvas and all the paints. And so they're seeing you as they can create this wonderful new beginning with you. They can, they're just seeing it as a fresh start. And I feel that they're feeling a lot of joy because they feel like they could achieve anything with you, kind of thing. And this King of Wands, they're feeling really happy. This is them. This is like sitting at home with the fire, with I don't know what animal that is. Looks like a stoat or something, but you know, at home with their animal, the warm fire, they're feeling happy, they're feeling this comfort. But this King of Wands is very stable, very grounded. This is about maturity. This is about this person is nurturing. They want to be there for you. They want to be stable. And they are. They're grounded because, you know, the Wands, there's a lot of red and orange in this card. So that's the root chakra, and then it's the sacral chakra just above that. So a lot of creativity, a lot of passion, maybe like sexual attraction. I feel this is someone, they're feeling much more happy and content in their life since they've met you. They could be, you know, when you're not together, they could be sitting at home feeling like happy and thinking about you, is what I'm really feeling. But then there's some difficult energies here. There's this card here. It's called Nature. But it's traditionally the Devil card. And this shows like the masculine sitting in front of a trap. So this person, they may have some fears of getting trapped in the wrong sort of relationship. This may be to do with some difficult relationships they had in the past, or if there is some sort of triggering in your connection or defensiveness on either side or both sides. You know, I feel this is a deep soul connection, so this triggering is meant to help you both to, you know, basically purge out limiting belief systems, blocks, emotional wounds, conditioning, illusions, and all things like that. So, you know, that could be represented by the Devil card as well. It's like within your connection, I'm feeling there's some of this shadow side that's coming up. And in the traditional tarot, it shows the man and the woman chained to the devil. So there may well be an element within your connection where there's these fears, illusions, the dark shadow side coming up. And you both, you know, are wanting to free yourself from the dark aspects within your connection, but they're going to come up. In order to get through them and release them, you're gonna have to go through them. But I feel like this person may be worrying about that. They may be questioning, because there's a 6 of Swords in reverse and the 8 of Cups. They may be wondering and going into a state of doubt at times if any triggering or karma comes up between you to be released. They may be wondering, should I move on from this connection? Is this the right connection for me, or should I stay? And this could be like anytime triggering comes up, they may feel like it's a disconnect. But it's like the illusions, because the illusions aren't real. You know, let's just talk about like twin flames. If you're like the same soul but in 2 bodies, you're already this oneness. You're already one soul. In truth, all of the illusions of our earthly human conditioning, the mind basically, the mind patterns that can't see the truth, you know, based on fears of separation, abandonment, all those wounds that cause us to isolate ourselves and be fearful that the other person's going to hurt us, sort of thing. Those are like the illusions that can seem very dense. It can seem like it's a block between you, and it can make you feel like pushed away or repelled from each other. It can make you feel like there's a separation. But there isn't in truth. It's like one soul, but it's like gunk. It's like these blocks of illusion are just in the way, standing in the way of our mind from truly seeing the oneness, if that makes sense. But anytime there is this sort of triggering, it does cause you both to like go inwards, is what this card's also about. Because this, whenever I see this card, I often think it's like this person that's walking away, they're walking away temporarily because they're leaving these cups, the 8 of Cups here. And they're just leaving them here temporarily, like they're leaving them in a safe place. And they're leaving them in like a stable place. Because 8 is like the infinity symbol. So for some of you, there's this strong connection. You're mirrors of each other. And And in the traditional tarot, it also shows like the moon. So in these times of triggering, you may both kind of retreat a little bit more into your subconscious, more into yourself. Like the subconscious is coming up. You may be going inwards and questioning yourself. But this is helping you to decipher what's truth, what's illusion, what's the bigger picture. You're tapping into your intuition, basically. This person's going off, or both of you are going off to find the 2 missing cups. So that would be the 2 of Cups, which is this in this reading? No. 2 of Cups is the happy, balanced relationship. So you're both going inwards and pondering, how can we create like the 2 of Cups energy? How can we find those 2 missing cups, the balanced, harmonious connection? And that 2 of Cups is like the self-love of each, like the Ace of Cups, 2 Ace of Cups, the heart of each individual coming together to make the 2. And when you come back, when you find that 2 of Cups, you can return to these 8 and it makes 10. 10 of Cups is the happy relationship. It's like the conclusion. It's getting there. Getting to where you want to be. Happy, harmonious relationship. So we have the 7 of Cups in reverse, the Knight of Cups, and the King of Cups. So there's a lot of Cups cards here. So a lot of positive emotions, a lot of love is what I'm feeling. So yeah, 7 of Cups in reverse. This is confusion, but it's in reverse. So it's like making a decision, coming out of confusion, and it's clarified by the Knight of Cups and the King of Cups. So, it's like making a positive decision, finding clarity. And again, this 7 of Cups may be one of you or both of you being in a state of confusion sometimes, because you feel this deep connection with this person, you feel a lot of love, you feel a lot of harmony a lot of the time, but then, it's your souls wanting to heal the illusions, and you can heal them with this person because they're like the mirror of you, so you can learn from that mirror. So yeah, at times you may have this questioning, like, is this the right person for me? Is this triggering a sign that we're not right for each other, or is it a sign that it's for healing? And yeah, you both may have gone through this confusion for a while, on and off. Sometimes it may have felt really harmonious with this person, other times not so much. Sometimes you may have felt like really like this is the one for me. Other times you may have felt like, oh, is this just something like karmic? Is this something negative? But I feel you're both realizing with this Knight of Cups that in your heart you just feel this deep love. You feel that your counterparts with the King and Queen, overall you feel like this good feeling in your intuition and your heart, and it feels right. And there may be many aspects which mirror between you, and you feel like you've just never met someone where you just feel so in sync. And anytime you're out of sync, you're sort of realizing it's the conditioning that's coming up. But in the truth, beyond that conditioning, you feel like this love and harmony and peace. So the Knight of Cups is this person returning, offering their heart. The Knight of Cups is like the knight in shining armor, someone that's chivalrous, someone that's emotionally open, expressive of their emotions, feels a lot of romantic love as well as this spiritual love for you. And yeah, the final tarot card is the King of Cups. So they feel I'm noticing all this food again, like in the Harvest card. They're feeling a lot of abundance with you, a lot of love. They feel like they can be their true self with you because there's a lot of blue here, which is the throat chakra, expressing their truth. So yeah, again, there's 3 kings here as well. This person is feeling like they can be the best version of themselves with you. Throat chakra with the blue here, and the King of Swords is all about expressing their truth as well. So they feel like they can be their true self with you. So the messages from the Divine Masculine cards are, let's enjoy some time together. So yeah, this person really does enjoy their time with you when you are together. They feel happiness, they feel joy. This is yellow. This is the colour of the solar plexus chakra. And, the solar plexus chakra is about self-confidence, self-esteem, like willpower. You may be inspiring them to feel more powerful within themselves. But also it's the colour of like the sun, the light, the joy. Let's run away together. So this is interesting. It's like there may be some aspects in their life that they're not happy with. And, they may not mean this literally, but it's like, let's run away together. They feel like they can kind of escape their problems with you. They feel like you refresh them, you uplift them, you make the dark times in their life bearable. That could also be like the devil. They may feel chained to certain things in their life that feel a bit toxic or depress them or something like that. Let's run away together. You help them feel like they're getting away from their stress. I find it hard to trust. So that's why I was talking about like some trust issues that they perhaps have. 3 of Swords, someone may have cheated on them or on you. I feel like you've both likely gone through karmic relationships in the past where there was pain and heartbreak, and maybe even in childhood it may have conditioned you to sort of protect yourself a bit too much and wear masks or have walls up or retreat into your shell a bit too much, something like that. Find it hard to trust. So this is, Spirit is saying, the main core wound that is being triggered to come up and be released at this time. Please listen. So yeah, I find this really interesting as well. If you have had arguments or if you have had triggering happening, it may be because both of you feel misunderstood, or like the other person's not really hearing what they're trying to say, or they feel like you're not listening or something like that. So yeah, there may need to be more patience. You may need to listen with an open heart more when this triggering happens. Both of you may feel as though the other is kind of tarnishing you with the same brush that you tarnish someone else with or something like that. Or how you saw someone in the past, you may be feeling as though this person is projecting that onto you in some kind of subconscious way. If someone's had trust issues, then obviously it's going to take a while for them to be able to trust you, vice versa. And it's like that conditioning is maybe causing you to see each other in a way that isn't representing the real them. My heart is opening. So yeah. This is what's happening overall within your connection, especially with the King and Queen of Cups. Cups about the heart. Both of you are helping each other to trust and open each other's heart and learning to be more vulnerable so you can give and receive love more and be your true selves without like the fear sort of shutting you down a bit. Let's make it happen. To me, this is like determination. If there's been like bumps in the road, difficulties, arguments, doubts, confusion about, you know, what to do with your connection, you know, this is saying let's make it happen. This is like a decision to follow the heart, look at the overall picture, like maybe synchronicities that brought you together, or just the overall intuition and feeling of love and union and connection that you feel with this person. So I'm going to carry on this reading in more depth in the Vimeo extended reading, and there's a link to that in the description box below this video. So I really hope it's resonated with you, and if it has, then please like, share and subscribe to my channel. And if you subscribe, please tap the bell icon and it will inform you every time I release a new video. And I hope to see you on Vimeo. Thank you so much. So this is set of cards number 2, which is the Rose Quartz Angel. And I'm using the True Love Tarot. How does this person truly feel about you? I've also got some messages from the Divine Masculine cards as well. So the top row is going to be the overall energies, and the 2 rows beneath are going to be the clarifying cards. So how does this person truly feel about you? Difficulty in reverse, or the 10 of Swords in reverse. The Chariot, or determination. The 6 of Cups, or joy, as it's called here. The 8 of Cups, sacrifice. The 2 of Wands, crossroads. So clarifying, we have the 5 of Wands, competition. The 3 of Wands, opportunity. Strength, understanding. The Page of Swords in reverse, or the Messenger in reverse. The 5 of Pentacles, or anxiety. Let's move these up a little. 6 of Pentacles in reverse, or generosity in reverse. The 8 of Wands, signals. The 3 of Pentacles, work. The Knight of Swords in reverse, or the Challenger in reverse. And the Fool, or trust in reverse. And we have from the messages from the Divine Masculine, I'm scared of losing you. You mean the world to me. Give me some space right now. It's okay, don't worry. I'm praying to God and I'm stuck. Okay, so how does this person truly feel about you? We start off with the 10 of Swords in reverse, clarified by the 5 of Wands and the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. So the 10 of Swords in reverse, it says difficulty in reverse. Yeah. Someone, I feel, has low self-esteem. They have some paranoia going on. There's competition here. It's like they're trying to compare themselves to someone else. Or they're just not feeling good enough because they feel like they don't have enough to offer you with this 6 of Pentacles, or generosity in reverse. You may be very generous with them emotionally, in terms of nurturing, in terms of giving to them or expressing to them, but they've gone through a lot of difficulty. They felt stabbed in the back. They felt betrayed in their past, is what I'm feeling, maybe even in their present by someone. So they feel like it's eaten away at their self-esteem big time, is what I'm feeling. And so there's this competition. There may be certain things in their life that's competing for their attention as well. There may be some narcissistic people in their life that have unhealthy codependency on them, and they have unhealthy codependency upon them as well. In terms of this person's worrying about how other people view them, or how these toxic people view them. They may be overgiving to the wrong types of people, with the Six of Pentacles in reverse as well. Someone may be taking from them, and it's taking their self-esteem as well, because although they're offering a lot, they're offering so much, they're giving so much, and they're burning themselves out totally, they're molding themselves for someone else. These people aren't appreciative of what they're giving or what they're offering. These people aren't turning around and loving them, which is why they're doing that. They're looking for love, validation, approval, acceptance by overgiving, but it's, they're wearing masks in doing that. They're not being their true selves, and that's why they feel they're not good enough for you. They're basing their self-esteem on other people's opinions of them, and because they've attracted toxic people, because they're not loving themselves, these people have negative criticisms towards them, and they're believing that. So they're feeling like they're worthless, and therefore they're seeing you, they're putting you on a pedestal and feeling not good enough. They feel like whatever they offer people, it's not good enough. So they feel it's certainly not going to be good enough for you. And it's all an illusion, because swords are about the mind and perception. So those 10 swords in their back, which is in the traditional tarot depiction, is really their own negative thought patterns. Like, they're believing like the inner critic, and that inner critic has been heavily conditioned by some kind of outer critic that they've experienced. But Spirit is saying that for many of you, this is a mirror connection. So they're focusing on someone else that's unworthy of their time and their effort, and there's basically is emotionally unavailable to them. Because you're mirrors, for many of you, you're being this way with them. You're overgiving, you're nurturing, you're always there for them, but they're not equally giving back love to you. They're not there for you. They're emotionally unavailable, and it's eating away at your self-esteem. For many of you, you're basing your sense of self-worth on how this person's reacting to you, on what they're doing, on what they're not doing, taking it very personally. So in that sense, you both share this same core wound, and these other people are triggering this wound in this person, and this person's triggering that same wound within you. It's kind of like a domino effect in that sense, but you both have this same core wounding, and I feel that's why your souls have been attracted to each other. It's to trigger that wounding. And this person fears your rejection because they don't feel good enough. And in a sense, you're fearing their rejection because you feel like they are rejecting you, and therefore you're thinking you're not good enough. So you're trying to do more and be more, but it's like giving away your personal power. And the more you do, at the end of the day, this person's still emotionally unavailable and is certainly not in the right place to be able to be there for you. And so it's kind of putting all your time and energy into the wrong person that can't be there for you. And likely this connection is a reflection of some relationships in your past, probably from, parents, and then it has likely been a pattern throughout romantic relationships. In some subconscious way, this person is very similar to someone else who was emotionally unavailable and really wounded, like your inner child. So it's like our inner child's attempt to sort of latch onto someone who's very similar to the person who initially rejected us, to try and get this equally unavailable person to turn around and be there for us and love us after all. And then it's like our inner child's way of trying to resolve that wound, that like initial wound, by having someone else be like the surrogate kind of person to love us in that way. But This can keep going in a cycle. We can keep attracting the same kind of scenarios with different people until we really learn to love ourselves within. So for many of you watching this connection is an opportunity for you. This can be a crossroads for you. Crossroads has come up. This is some kind of karmic pattern within your life. And there's a crossroads now. This is your soul calling to you through this connection, triggering you so much that the idea is that this situation is gonna annoy you so much or hurt you so much to the point where you realize, I deserve more than this. And then that's the aha moment. That's the moment when you realize your own worth. And this is the opportunity for you to choose a different path for yourself through loving and honoring yourself. So I know this is like a really difficult message. The next cards, yes, some of you, Spirit's saying there's this competition. Some of you, this other person is with someone else, or they're focusing on other people and you're feeling rejected because they're not fully focusing on you. And you're giving and giving because you're trying to, convince them and show them, look how much I have to offer. I'm offering you so much more than these other people that are just taking from you. But you got to ask yourself, is what you're offering true, unconditional love? Or is there this underlying, condition attached to that where really you're giving so much because you're wanting that approval in return. You're wanting them to give back equally to try and heal that wound. Is that truly, fully about love that you're giving without strings attached to this other person? Is it true love, or is it partly to try and get that validation or healing in return? Because if it is, then they'll be able to sense that on a deep down level. They'll sense it's not fully genuine. And, there may be some genuine love there, but there may be a lot of this wounding that's sort of been projected into this. So the Chariot, determination, 3 of Wands, opportunity, 8 of Wands, signals. So determination, how are they feeling about you? What I'm feeling is they do feel this soul connection that you share. And for a lot of you, this is about this mutual opportunity for you both to be at this crossroads and learn these patterns that you're both going through. Looking outside of self for that love and validation. So some of them, they are determined, or they think they're determined, or they are determined, but then I feel like there's these blocks, or it's not about what you both may think it's about. You may both have this idea of coming together romantically and living happily ever after sort of thing. No, I don't mean that in a condescending way, because I have been through this as well in the past, so I'm trying to help anyone that may be caught up in this karmic kind of cycle. This could be your determination, I'm going to make this work no matter what. Because you're seeing this opportunity, or you feel like there's a lot of opportunity. You may be falling in love with the potential. That potential might feel like this carrot on a string that's leading you along. And yeah, there's a lot of movement here with this 8 of Wands as well. Sorry, I'm just trying to tune in. Some of them, it's like they're running away and they're determined to have like be in control and avoid their emotions. But ultimately, that's, if they're in denial, they're just going to keep going on this karmic cycle with other people, you know, looking outside themselves for approval. Some of them, they do have this determination to try and make it work with you. And it is because you do have this soul connection, this soul pull. And it is drawing you closer together on that deep down level. But it's meant to be like this catalyst is what I'm feeling, to bring up like all this wounding. And I think it's going to, I feel like it's going to come up through disappointment. Like things aren't going to turn out in the way that they may appear to, or the way you might want them to. But in truth, there's a deeper like beauty to your connection, because it's way beyond like a physical romantic relationship. Even though there may be a lot of pain and this person may be hot and cold with you, or for some of you they're not there for you, and that's making you feel more determined to try and make it work. Or they are determined on one level, but at the same time I feel like they're not taking action. Or they have this determination, but it's just like these blocks, these wounds are sort of getting in the way, and so no action can truly be taken at this time towards like a physical relationship. Sorry, I just lost my train of thought. I lost where I was going with that, but yeah, it's like a deeper connection than what you think it is, or you both may be focusing on romance and coming together, but it's more about healing those wounds, whether you would end up together or not. That's the true beauty and depth of your connection, because it's causing you to be at this crossroads. Do I love myself, or do I keep going on this karmic wheel and looking outside of myself for love? A deep, opportunity here for movement. Signals, yeah. It's like the universe is communicating to you. Some of you may have like a sinking feeling deep down, or it may just, again, I don't mean this in a condescending way, but it may be like really obvious if you look at things objectively that things just aren't working out with this person. I know within like the twin flame community especially, we're told to like have like tons of belief and focusing on the 5D a lot, but there does need to be a balance in truth. If it really, really, really like isn't working out, then in that way, then it may literally be like staring you in the face, like there's some deeper lesson about this, and it's not about being with this person in that way. And I'm just being honest saying this. I know a lot of people won't like what I'm saying, but I feel I have to be honest. I don't want to like spin a yarn is the phrase that's coming through. So 6 of Cups with strength, and the 3 of Pentacles. Just looking at the other cards. So yeah, 6 of Cups, joy. There is an innocence to this connection, no matter what is going on. In the 3D, there is an innocence. And I feel this is the deep bond of your soul. To me, I'm just seeing this 6 as 3 on one side, 3 on the other. You are mirrors of each other. This card's about reconciliation. And I feel this is like definitely soul family. And you feel joy in your hearts when you think of each other, because there is this deep healing on a deep soul level. But I just feel like for many of you, what's supposed to happen in your 3D life may not coincide with what you're wanting to happen with this person. This connection does have like a strong infinite bond is what I'm feeling, because this is number 8 and it also has an infinity symbol. It's right slap bang in the middle of the reading. It's like your souls have this understanding of each other. You bring each other strength. And I feel it is because it's like this deep soul healing. Your souls are working together. You're awakening each other more to spirituality. Opening each other's intuition, understanding, bringing deeper meaning to each other's lives. Some of you, it will like work out eventually, but what I'm really feeling is there's a lot of like chaotic energy. There's a lot of like karma going on around both of you, and it just feels like there's a lot of knots is what I'm seeing in a ball of yarn. Like there's a lot of knots in your connection, and it's just very complicated, and that complication for many of you is going to become very tiresome. And that feeling of being tired and exhausted and stagnating is like your soul telling you to break free from limiting thought patterns that may be keeping you chained to this person, like mentally and emotionally, and by holding on to certain outcomes. But on a deep soul level, you are working together is what I'm feeling. It's like the 6 of Cups. It's like your inner children, your soul, like working together to heal the inner child. And it may be through disappointment, but also it's through those disappointments are going to, for many of you, help you release those unrealistic expectations. But when you release those, it's going to reveal like the infinite soul bond that you have with this person, and it's like you're going to feel really grateful for that soul connection. It may devastate you to begin with if you're honest with yourself, if it's not working out in that way, but overall you're going to feel so much joy and happiness at realizing that your souls are working together, even if that doesn't result in like a physical romantic relationship. 8 of Cups, sacrifice, with the Page and the Knight of Swords in reverse. So this 8 of Cups is all about walking away. Sacrifice. Some of you may have to say goodbye to this connection. Draw a line under it. Start, close that chapter and begin a new chapter in your life. Because this is what I'm feeling. Like there's the Messenger and the Challenger, but they're in reverse. I feel like this person may feel this determination on some level. They see the opportunity and potential in your connection, and they're receiving a lot of signs from the universe. But I feel like with this Messenger and Challenger in reverse, it's like they're not taking action. It's just not working out. It's just not grounding is what I'm feeling. And I feel it's no one's fault. I feel it's just meant to be that way. Like this isn't the person for you. And that's why it's not working out. Because there's someone in your future who is right for you. Messenger in reverse. Some of them may be like messaging you, reaching out, but they're not fully like committing. They're not fully like being there for you 100%. The Challenger in reverse, it's like they're feeling this soul calling to take a leap of faith and go on this spiritual journey, but some of them, it's like they're afraid to be their true spiritual self. They're feeling this challenge, but they're not taking the challenge because right next to it is the Fool in reverse, not taking the leap of faith. So yeah, there's this crossroads. Someone may be getting caught on this crossroads, like, for too long. Like, that's choosing to not make a decision. Someone's getting stuck in not making a decision, but really that is making a decision. That's not committing. 5 of Pentacles. This is feeling left out in the cold. It's called anxiety. Yeah, I feel this person suffers a lot with anxiety, overthinking things, but because you feel like you've been stuck on this crossroads, you've been stuck in stagnation for so long, you're feeling left out in the cold. You have all this anxiety. You're thinking, should I stay? Should I go? And this person is just the Fool in reverse. They're not taking this leap of faith. They don't trust in themselves. They haven't got a healed, like, inner child. They may be acting foolish. But again, I feel it's just because things aren't getting off the ground, or things aren't manifesting because it's not meant to. But at the same time, this person is scared of losing you. But I feel like many of you need to move on, because there may be some codependency here on both sides, because you might be kind of in each other's lives, but not like fully. There may be some element of like a fantasy sort of connection going on. And I don't mean that as in your connection isn't real. I mean there may be projections of what you're both wanting in the future, but it always just remains in the future sort of thing, never fully grounding. And that's like the codependency. It's like a form of escapism from facing your own wounds within. It's like thinking everything will be great in the future and kind of holding on to that and feeling happiness from daydreaming about that, rather than being real, like in the present moment. You're both scared of losing each other, but this person's scared of losing you. Some of you are getting like cold feet now, because you're like, I've been waiting around for ages, and you're starting to feel like it's not healthy for you to just sort of live for the future all the time, or live in your daydreams of what you want to happen. You're actually realizing it's making you disconnected from your actually living your life. And you're feeling like it could be closing the door or keeping the door closed from other opportunities. And you feel like time's just wasting away. You mean the world to me. So this is saying, if you have any doubts, this person, their feelings for you are true, just as yours are for them. But it's just, I feel for many of you, it's just not meant to be. But for some of you, when you release this expectation of how this is going to turn out, which is keeping you tethered to it and keeping you stuck, then you're going to realize the blessing of this connection, and you're going to realize you are soul family, even though it didn't work out. And you're going to be grateful for this experience and this person. And you're going to love them on a soul level. That's like the true unconditional love. Give me some space right now. So yeah, a lot of you are wanting space, and you're like walking away. A lot of them, they've always wanted space. They may have felt like you were determined and you're trying to force things to work. Sending them a lot of signals, messaging them a lot. And they were sort of not reciprocating, and that was triggering you. But that was like, in the bigger picture, that was the purpose of that, to trigger you. So you felt rejected. So eventually you would, love yourself more and not keep giving away your personal power and allowing your self-esteem to go down the drain sort of thing, because of overgiving and then feeling like none of that's reciprocated. It's okay, don't worry. That's easier said than done, but the hardest part is like releasing Because when we, hold on so tightly and for so long, and we have all these expectations, then it kind of feels like that becomes a part of our identity. If we've centered our world around something happening in the future, or we've put a label on the connection, then that we think that becomes our identity. We feel like that's us. So one of the hardest parts of surrendering and letting go of that is feeling like, well, what now? Who am I without this? What does my life mean? Where is the meaning in my life now? If we place so much meaning in something. And that's the most difficult part. But once you get through that, it's liberating. It's going to feel like a huge weight off your shoulders. And you're free. You've learnt the lesson, and then you'll be free to, you've learnt, what not to do. And you will have learnt that only an equal, balanced relationship is worthy of you. And when you truly realise that and live by that, then that's when you align with that. I'm praying to God. So some of these people, if you've walked away from them, they may not be ready to truly let it go because of that fear of releasing the sense of identity attached to it all, or releasing this form of escapism through daydreaming in order to escape a painful reality or something like that. They don't want to release the dream is what I'm feeling. But ultimately they're stuck. But if you wait for them, then you become stuck as well. If someone's not moving, someone's staying on that crossroads and not growing, then you need to release them. Because if you hold on, if you always keep one foot in their door, that foot is going to keep you tethered to the spot, and you can't fully commit to any other area of your life. So don't become stuck. This, like I said, is a major opportunity for this crossroads. You're going to carry on down the same path, going in circles, or are you going to truly heal and be ready to potentially attract the right person for you? So I'm going to carry on this reading and look more in depth in Vimeo, and there's a link to that reading in the description box below this video. I really hope this has resonated with you, and if it has, then please like, share and subscribe. And if you subscribe, please tap the bell icon, and that will notify you every time I release a new reading. So I hope to see you on Vimeo. Thank you. Okay, so this is set of cards number 3, which is the opalite stone. And this is the spiral tarot, but I've also pulled out cards from messages from the divine masculine. So how does this person truly feel about you? The top row is going to be the overall energies. The 2 rows beneath are going to be the clarifying cards. So we have the Tower, the Hermit, the 9 of Swords in reverse, the 9 of Cups in reverse, the 10 of Cups in reverse. So clarifying, we have the Wheel of Fortune, the King of Wands, the 2 of Cups in reverse, the Lovers, Death in reverse, the 5 of Wands in reverse, the Knight of Pentacles, the 8 of Pentacles in reverse, the Moon, and the Knight of Swords. And from the messages from the Divine Masculine deck, we have, I'm showing you something important. I'm thinking about children. I want to do things right. I don't feel good enough. I'm always thinking about you. And what does she think of me? Okay, so how does this person truly feel about you? We're starting off with the Tower, the Wheel of Fortune, and the Five of Wands in reverse. So some major Tower moment has happened in your connection. Something's broken down. There may have been a separation within your connection. Some kind of something that you were holding on to has fallen away, but it's a blessing in disguise, because the Tower is always about walls and masks and faulty foundations we've built upon, something that we're holding on to too tightly that basically we need to release. Often when we're in resistance of releasing something through fear, then the universe steps in and creates a Tower moment, like the lightning strikes the Tower, or the lightning strikes the situation and makes things fall apart. But it's so you can have a new beginning. It's so you can see the truth. A lot of epiphanies have come out. And it's so you can rebuild out in the light, in the truth. You can liberate yourself from any limitations or codependency or anything like that. So something major's happened within your connection, and they're really feeling like it's been a lot of destruction, a lot of fear. They're feeling a lot of upheaval. It may have forced them out of their comfort zone. There's a Wheel of Fortune though, so yeah, it's to do with some karmic cycles come to an end. If we look at one of these ladies here, she's got the big shears or the big scissors, and this is like a spinning wheel, going to cut the thread, cut the tie. So some of them may feel as though you've walked away or you've cut the ties with them. Definitely some karmic cycle within your connection has come to an end, like massively. And they're feeling all over the place with this Five of Wands in reverse. Perhaps in the past you weren't really sticking up for yourself. Maybe you were putting up with too much that you shouldn't have been putting up with, really. You didn't have healthy boundaries. Perhaps now you do have healthy boundaries. Perhaps there's been some kind of argument. Perhaps you realised you were giving away your personal power to this person. Maybe you were always there for them. You were overly nurturing, overly giving, overly patient, overly forgiving sort of thing to things where they weren't treating you right or something like that. And I always like to say that, you know, relationships are mirrors. So this person is mirroring back to you something you feel about yourself, maybe feeling unworthy of love. Maybe you felt as though this person was wearing a mask and wasn't fully there for you and wasn't committing to you, but then in many cases, what I'm seeing is that you were subconsciously wearing a mask as well, perhaps overgiving in terms of trying to mold yourself to be what you thought this person wanted you to be. So you weren't truly being authentic. And this was trapping both of you, like a lack of authenticity in some areas of your connection. So the universe couldn't have that, keep going on. So the universe has put a stop to that. A lot of clarity's come out. This maybe harsh words have been spoken. Perhaps, if you were overly understanding, something happened and it really hurt you or really pissed you off, and perhaps you swung in the other direction and said a few harsh words or just cut the ties with them and you were angry at them. And so they're feeling like some kind of false foundation, some kind of false sense of security within your connection. They felt like that's been crumbled, and they're feeling a lot of anxiety. But at the same time, some of them are recognizing the lessons in this situation, and they're seeing themselves clearly, and they don't want there to be this arguing. They don't want there to be this power struggle. They want you to be open to them again, and receptive to if they want to reach out. But I feel a lot of you are like this hermit, because in this deck, the Spiral Tarot, it's actually a female who's the hermit. So a lot of you walked away, you walked on your own path, you had a lot of enlightenment through something which came up and created a sense of separation. They're afraid of you walking away. They don't want you to fully walk away. Some of them, then they are like oblivious to their own blocks and how this was a blessing in disguise for them as well. But some of them, they are seeing that with this Wheel of Fortune, they are cutting the ties to their own karmic patterns. They are realizing the major lessons in this situation. So they're wanting to be like stable for you, this King of Wands. They're wanting this passionate, like stable connection with you. They want it to be grounded, is what I'm feeling with this King of Wands. And there's a lot of red and orange in this card. And, you know, wands are often depicted as red in the traditional tarot. So that's the root chakra. That's all about like survival and your foundation, like physical foundation, physical security. They're wanting to be grounded. They're wanting there to be this firm foundation within themselves and with you. Some of them, they're wanting to rebuild your connection. They're wanting to build up not the tower, but they're wanting to rebuild something more authentic with you. And they want to do the work. Some of them are doing the work with this Knight of Pentacles. This is slowly but surely planting the new seeds. The Spirit is showing me like an image of a tree in autumn. It's like your connection's gone through a renewal phase. All the old leaves have fallen off, but it's like you were trying to hold on to those old leaves, but they fell off, and now it's a time for rebirth, regrowth, a new phase in your connection. This is saying that, especially with the King of Wands, they want to do things right. They want to do things in a stable way. There was a false sense of security with the Tower that you once had. But it was based on illusions. Some kind of illusions were making you both feel more secure than well, basically, what I'm trying to say is perhaps you were both feeling in the past like you needed a lot of reassurance. So there may have been some sort of illusions projected into your connection, like maybe some false promises, or always thinking about the future, but it's never fully grounding in the present moment. Like holding on to the future was like your safety net or your crutch or the training wheels or something like that. You felt like you needed that to feel some sense of security. But that's fallen away, because that was basically that was like fears and trying to avoid facing your biggest fears. But that was actually blocking you both and keeping you stuck and limited in a very limited like expression of your connection. You know, if you hadn't faced your fears, then you couldn't grow, basically. So the universe has pulled the rug from beneath your feet for both of you. But it was to force you to face your fears. Because when we have fear and we're coming at a connection from a place of fear, it really limits that connection. So then there's the Nine of Swords in reverse, the Two of Cups in reverse, and the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. This person's feeling a lot of anxiety surrounding your connection. I feel maybe some of them, I'm just getting an image of some of them maybe in another relationship, but maybe not. This is like them isolating themselves, having a lot of worries. With it in reverse, this is saying to me that they're trying to hide their anxiety. So if they are in a relationship with someone else and this huge, like, devastating things happen between you and them, they may be trying to hide that and make out like nothing's happened. It may be a struggle for them to, hide that from their partner, that they're feeling really devastated, but they feel like they have to hide it, otherwise their partner would ask questions like, what's going on, sort of thing. Why are you withdrawn? But it doesn't have to mean they're in another relationship with someone else. This could be they're hiding their anxiety from you. But this is a lot of sleepless nights and thinking a lot. They're thinking about you and them. Two of Cups in reverse. So this is your partnership in reverse. They're thinking about all the troubles, the friction, the separation, the upheaval, whatever's happened with that Tower moment. They're really stressed about it. And they're wanting like a reconciliation. They may be realizing that they were focusing on the wrong things. They may have been distracting themselves for a long time, working on the wrong things rather than looking inwards and healing themselves. They're also the Hermit now, going inwards a lot more, finding the truth. But again, this can also be a mirror of you. Perhaps some of you were sweeping things under the carpet, like poor behavior or something like that, and you were continuing to work and work and work, maybe trying to heal yourself, just not having some healthy boundaries, maybe thinking you were solely responsible for the outcome of this connection, and therefore, trying to be this perfectionist when it comes to being a divine feminine. When I think about the twin flame community, I feel it's a lot of misguided information about, it's meant with good intention, but there's all this pressure placed on the divine feminine to be this perfect person, to be almost like a Mother Teresa, saintly figure, practicing like forgiveness and unconditional love, and that's all very well, but it can often be misunderstood to mean having no healthy boundaries and just accepting any kind of poor behavior and being forgiving and still being there, still overgiving, still overly nurturing, almost like trying to become some kind of mother figure. And I feel that's very, very imbalanced. And it's kind of repressing the divine feminine in many ways, repressing and training them to give away their personal power. Obviously, it's not about being the opposite of that and, not forgiving or anything like that. But what I'm trying to say is there needs to be more of a balance. If you're trying to be overly forgiving, but you're interpreting that to be, just sweeping things under the carpet, often there'll be this nagging feeling within yourself where that doesn't feel right, where you just sort of turn a blind eye to certain things. It doesn't feel right deep down. It gives you a sinking feeling, and that's your soul crying out to you, saying that you need to have healthy boundaries. You need to. And people sometimes wonder, how do you have healthy boundaries? Basically, you've got to release the fear of losing this person. Because if you really, really fear losing this person, then you're not going to have healthy boundaries. Because you're going to think, if I stick up boundaries, then they're going to feel like they're not getting what they want from me. They're not getting their way, so they're going to leave me. You need to be okay with that. And that's how you have healthy boundaries. You no longer fear like what their reaction's going to be, whether they're going to stay, whether they're going to go. You're just following what your soul feels is right for you. So 9 of Cups in reverse with the Lovers and the Moon So yeah, they're feeling disappointment. They feel like they perhaps missed this opportunity with you. They feel like they were taking you for granted. This is like their hopes and dreams have, well, they're worried that they've faded away or they've been shattered and lost. They were on cloud 9 at one point with you, maybe for a long time, but it's because they were taking it for granted. And now it's also like perhaps you were on cloud 9. Some tower moment happened. It felt like a slap around the face. It woke you up to a lot of things. It disappointed you. And then perhaps now you're feeling like a lot of what you held on to in the past was kind of castles in the sky. It wasn't grounded enough. I'm not saying your connection wasn't real. I'm saying there was a lot of elements that just wasn't fully grounded. So it wasn't real, like in the present moment. So yeah, the lovers, they see you as this deep soul connection, whether it's their soulmate, their twin flame, or, you know, whatever label. Labels don't really matter. And they're regretful because they know you have this strong, like, infinite bond. Many of you, you know, take whatever resonates. They know you have this strong soul connection, but now they're very fearful with this moon card because they've been forced into a separation where they have to go down that path that's depicted on the moon card in the traditional tarot. The path of going inwards, the path of going down their shadow side, the path of facing their fears, stepping into the unknown, because that's what they were reluctant to do, step into the unknown. They wanted to stay within the walls of that tower. But now a lot of their depth of their emotions is coming up as well. They're seeing how they truly feel. It's kind of ironic and it's kind of sad, but some people, well, all of us at times, only realise what we've got once it's gone, kind of thing. So yeah, here's 10 of Cups in reverse as well, similar to the 9 of Cups in reverse. 10 of Cups is all about the happy relationship, having it all, the completion of that. They're still wanting this and they still feel like there may be a possibility of this, but again, they're disappointed and they're kicking themselves because they feel like this upheaval has either delayed this or they're fearing it's completely destroyed any possibility of being with you. And for some of you, you know, you've accepted and you have moved on and you're no longer holding on or holding out for a romantic relationship with them. For some of you, it will turn into that romantic relationship in the future. But yeah, there's death in reverse. So this is transformation in reverse. It means there's been a painful transformation through that tower moment. They were resisting change, and a lot of you were resisting change as well. There was some kind of limitation stagnating within your connection. And like I said, the universe knew that you couldn't progress with this connection and with your own individual lives either if you were still holding on codependently to illusions and fears and some kind of karmic cycle. And so the universe stepped in and created a death in order for there to be a new beginning. It's felt very painful because both of you were in resistance. Both of you didn't want to face the fears, like willingly, so you were forced to face your fears. But it is for a major rebirth. Some of you, it's a rebirth within the connection. Some of you, it's you separating and going into your separate ways and having a new beginning. So yeah, both of you felt all this fear with this Knight of Swords. You are forced to go into the moon energy, face your fears. You're forced to face that head on, kind of go into battle, perhaps. Instead of being passive, you are forced into all that uncomfortable, painful phase of that tower falling down. But it's a blessing in disguise. They're afraid. I feel like they're still afraid of this death and rebirth. It could be the death of the ego, the false sense of security. There's a fear of losing the comfort zone, and they're fearful of fighting those inner demons kind of thing, those inner fears. So I'm showing you something important. Yeah. I feel something happened. You realise something about them that really hurt you. Or they may have done something that really hurt you. But it was to create the tower moment. It was their soul's way of showing you something important that you needed to understand. Some kind of enlightenment to help you take back your personal power, to honour yourself, to know your own worth. Thinking about children, some of them, they wanted children with you, and maybe there was talk of children, having children together, and maybe they kind of had that in their mind that might happen with you in the future at some point, and maybe they think now it isn't, so they're maybe panicking about that, or they may be just thinking about the future, like what they're going to do. Who would they have children with, perhaps, if you've separated and gone your separate ways. I want to do things right. So yeah, that relates to this King of Wands and the Knight of Pentacles. They realised they were trying to cut corners. They realised they were taking you and the connection for granted. They realised they weren't treating you right. But a lot of it's because you enabled them to. And it was their fears playing out. It wasn't because they purposely wanted to be out of order. It was just a lot of you were enabling them to live through their fears and relate to you through their fears. So they were, not making the right kind of effort, or they were trying to take the easy options rather than doing the right thing. But they're realising that definitely contributed to the Tower moment. I'm not saying it was all their fault, because it's not. Your mirrors. I don't feel good enough. So yeah, that was their main fear, basically. Not feeling worthy, and therefore not really wanting to get close and reveal their true selves to you, because then they feared rejection and abandonment, basically. So they kept their distance, and then that made you feel rejected and abandoned, and it made you feel like you weren't good enough. And that can sometimes contribute to the divine feminine, especially overgiving and trying to prove themselves. But it can be anyone trying to prove and convince the other person to come closer and convince them that you're worthy of loving and all things like that. I'm always thinking about you. So whether they're hiding that from you or not, this is the reality. They're always thinking of you. And what does she think of me? So if there is this separation and you're not really in contact anymore, they are thinking, has she fallen out of love with me? Does she still love me? What does she want? They're confused. They're just worried that you've moved on. They're worried about reaching out in case you're not receptive. So I'm going to carry this reading on in Vimeo, and the link to that is below the video in the description box. So I really hope this reading has resonated, and if it has, then please like, share and subscribe. And if you subscribe, please tap the bell icon, and that will notify you every single time I release a new reading. So I really hope to see you on Vimeo. Thank you so much. Take care. Bye.